It's the second meeting of the Super 1 season with the Bambino Kart Club guesting this weekend, and next up is the Bambino Honda Cadet class. Honda Cadet is up next. The four-kart driven by Ollie Poole, the championship leader, has swept all before him this weekend. Fastest in time qualifying, won the earlier heat and pre-final. It's Poole from Scarisbrick, McDuff, Sherwood, then Champney, O'Neill going, Mile, Davison, Gibletley, Douglas, and Jarvis, Butlin and Ollie Meek rounding out the grid. On board the drone, under starters orders, Caleb McDuff gets a bit of a false start there off P3's, had to back out of it, hit the brakes, and that's cost him time. Into the chicane for the first time, Connor Scarisbrick squeezes out the championship leader and poleman as Scarisbrick takes the lead down to McRae's hairpin for the first time. Meanwhile, through the chicane, out of the chicane, Caleb McDuff made a great move on the exit to recover the place he lost at the start. Meanwhile, alongside, it's Poole and Scarisbrick. Scarisbrick's got the inside line. He'll hold on to it. Poole will look for the switchback. Does he get it? They go side by side. Poole's got the inside line, needs to keep his foot in. That's Caleb McDuff picked out. He drives with complete hearing loss, by the way. It's an incredible story. We did interview him earlier, but irony amongst all ironies, unfortunately there was an issue with the audio. We can't hear anything that he said. It is an interesting story though. We will catch up with him next time we see him. That was Connor Scarisbrick you saw pictured. He's the race leader, but not for long. Here comes Poole up the inside, and Poole, the championship leader, he's won everything today, time qualifying, Heat 1 and the pre-final, and now leads this final as they go through the line. It's Poole from Scarisbrick, McDuff, Sherwood, O'Neill going comes next. That's Jaden Sherwood picked out on the 46 kart. Finished 7th in the final at round 1, but 4th place today and right there in it to win it. Out of McRae's hairpin, up to Iredale's. Great overtaking opportunity. McDuff decides not to take it at the moment. Content with 3rd place. And that is Jaden Sherwood there in 4th. That's Jensen O'Neill going, picked out, running 5th, 11th in the final at round 1. Theo Champney running in 6th today, 3rd in the final at round 1. This race promises to be an absolute cracker. The top 6 come towards us. That's Holly Mile there in 7th place, leading that battle. 2.4 off the leader. There she is, picked out. 7th on track here in this race. 10th in the final at round 1. Poole, Scarisbrick, McDuff. The battle for the lead is raging. Then comes Sherwood, O'Neill going, then Theo Champney rounding out the top 6. Jacob Giblet-Lee is up to 7th through Paddock Bend on the 82 car. Ashton Butlin leading the chase in 9th. 9th in the final at round 1 also. The gap between the leader, Ollie Poole, and the man in 6th place, Theo Champney there, 1.376 only between these top 6. This is the battle for the lead, up to Iredale's hairpin. Nobody making a move at this stage. They may get the run down to the Stuart S's and have a go there. This is Lakeside Straight into the Stuart S's, always an overtaking opportunity if you get the run, and getting the run is Jaden Sherwood on Caleb McDuff, and Sherwood makes it stick. Sherwood through to 3rd place, Caleb McDuff down to 4th. They're followed there again by O'Neill going Champney, and then Giblet-Lee up to 7th. Holly Mile comes next from Butlin, Jarvis, Davison, Oliver Meeks up to 12th, and Lincoln Douglas 13th. Left-handed through Sonny Ben, looks like the 2 leaders getting away. Poole and Scarisbrick. McDuff up the inside at Paddock Bend to get 3rd place back and gets it. And going through for the spot is O'Neill going as well with him. So O'Neill going up to 4th, Stewart down to 5th. Champney still there in 6th place. The 2 leaders now just 0.03 of a second as they went through the line. But they're getting away from this battle. And that's O'Neill going up for 3rd, but not for long. Great switchback by Caleb McDuff. What a move that was. That was as sweet as a Mr. Whippy with double flakes. Have a look at the replay, it was that good. Here comes O'Neill going down the inside. Now McDuff's got a real wide line. Now he's going to look for the switchback, keeps cool, and then just switches back on the inside and drops O'Neill going back to the 4th place he had going into the turn. Great driving by Caleb McDuff. This is that battle for 3rd. Down into St John's, the right-hander. We've got Connor Scarisbrick out front. There he is. Connor Scarisbrick has made his way past Ollie Poole while we were showing you that replay. So it's Scarisbrick now from Poole, and then comes McDuff, O'Neill going, Sherwood and Champney rounding out the top 6, and Giblet-Lee, Holly Mile going through the picture from Butlin, Davison, Jarvis, Meek and Douglas further back. That's George Davison's information. Poole goes for the lead back in McRae's hairpin and gets it. Lovely clean move. Oh, a little bit of contact. Out of sight of the cameras, looks like O'Neill Going was involved in that. He's cut the corner. He's down to what looks like 7th place. He was in 4th. Yeah, he's 7th going into the hairpin. O'Neill Going, second in that little group of 3 there, but gets the switch back on the exit, and O'Neill Going back into 6th. So it looks like he's lost, well, 2 places, but a load of time. Out of the Stewart-S's, Paul leads it from Scarisbrick, then Macduff, Sherwood, Champney. O'Neill Going now back into 6th place. He's followed by Jacob Giblett-Lee, then Holly Mile in 8th, Ashton Butland in 9th, and George Davison rounds out the top 10. Leaders towards us into Paddock Bend one more time. Just over 7 minutes left on the clock, 12 minutes plus a lap. When you see the counter click down to 0, the starter will bring out the last lap board. Leaders through the chicane, great pictures again from the drone, down to McRae's hairpin. This is that battle for 6th place. That's O'Neill Going ahead of Jacob Giblett-Lee, and then Holly Mile in behind. This trio battling for 6th, another trio battling for 9th in behind. That's Butland Davison and Josh Jarvis. They're all battling, not much between them. I've said before, and it's worth saying again, these battles down the field are always worth winning, because this is where you learn your trade. This is where you learn your racecraft, how to overtake. Because the battle for 6th place today, the battle for 9th place today, next year, when these drivers have got a lot more experience, that can be the battle for the win. And you come out on top of the battle that day, and you take the big pot home. Look at this, talk about 3-way battles. We've got a 3-way for the lead here. It's Paul Scarisbrick and Macduff, just 0.46 as they went through the line between them. And then Champney's up to 4th now from Sherwood and O'Neill Going. And then these 3, Butland Davison and Jarvis. Jarvis in that, what looks like bright orange helmet, I think it is. Very easy to spot though. Coming towards us, there you go, just going under the drone now. Josh Jarvis in 11th place. 5 minutes 40 on the clock, nothing between them. It's still Paul from Scarisbrick and the 38 of Caleb Macduff. As I said earlier, Caleb Macduff has complete hearing loss. He hears when he's out of the cart with the help of magnetic implants which are underneath his scalp. That allows him to hear when he's out of the cart. When he's in the cart, he doesn't wear the system that he uses to hear. But that means, of course, in the kart, he's got no hearing whatsoever, can't hear the engine noise. I've got to feel that that's a little bit of a disadvantage. Running in 3rd place here, didn't take part at round 1, but great to see him doing so well in this race, and what a race. On board with the drone again, epic pictures as they come through the chicane, sweep down to McRae's hairpin. Looking like it's going to have a go, is he, Connor Scarisbrick? Not this time. Caleb Macduff gets quicker. We track them from McRae's up to Iredale's hairpin. I don't think anybody's going to be making a move here. When they went through the line last time, by the way, Jacob Giblett-Lee made up a place. He's up to 6th place. O'Neill Going drops back to 7th. Still Mile, Butland and Davison 8th, 9th and 10th. I have to say, Ollie Paul's taken a very narrow line down Lakeside into the Stewart-S's. He seems to be defending very early here with well over 4 minutes still on the clock. Into the right-hander at St John's. This is the left-hander now. Sunny Bend brings you out to Paddock Bend. What sort of line does he take here? Again, a very narrow line. Now that is allowing the drivers behind him just to line up and take the opportunity, if they get the chance, to pick him off. He's narrowed down into the chicane, out of the chicane. Let's see if he goes narrow into McRae's. Well, we come off that battle to cover this battle here, just very briefly. The battle for 9th, that's Butland Davison and Jarvis, 9, 10, 11. Back with the leaders. Well, you can see that he's taken a narrow line here, Ollie Paul. This is a very defensive line early on. That's a battle for 12th between Lincoln Douglas just ahead there of Oliver Meek. Meek did have that earlier on, but Douglas has made his way past Meek for that 12th spot. And you can see Paul again. He's defending extremely early, and that's allowing the drivers in behind. Theo Champney in 4th and Jaden Sherwood in 5th. They're loving it because they're getting much closer. This is going to be a 5-way battle sometime very soon. These 3 were well clear earlier in the race, but not anymore. That's a battle for 6 between Giblett-Lee, O'Neill Going and Holly Mile in behind in 8th. Back with the leaders though. Paul Scarisbrick and Macduff go through the line. 0.251 between them. Theo Champney's 0.7 behind the leader. Or at least he was when he went through the line. I don't think he is now. He's right there in 4th place, all over the back of Caleb Macduff. And this narrow line by the race leader, Ollie Paul, is allowing Jaden Sherwood to get that much closer as well. There was a time, by the way, before drop-down nose cones, if you're new to karting, the front panel, the front nose cone effectively sits on a bracket, as we see Paul defending again very heavily down the inside line. The front nose cone sits on a bracket, and if the nose cone comes into scrutineering and it's pushed back on that bracket, that's an automatic penalty for that driver. Automatic, no appeal as I understand it. I think it's the same in this Bambino Kart Club Championship as other forms of karting as well. But if you go back sort of 10 years, maybe 15 years, anybody defending this early simply would have been nudged out of the way. It's as simple as that. Wouldn't have been stood for, and in any case, up the inside, a fantastic move by Connor Scarisbrick. Now will he defend himself? Down to the hairpin, that's allowed Sherwood to get that much closer. What a battle we've got on here. It's a five-way. Adam McRae's up to Iredale's Paul in second, still taking a relatively defensive line. That may allow Connor Scarisbrick to get away, but not at the moment. It's Scarisbrick from Paul. McDuff, the 55 kart, is Theo Champney, and then Jaden Sherwood right with them now as they go through these Stewart-S's at the bottom of the circuit. 1 minute 30 on the clock. What a race. Champney and Sherwood lose time coming out of the Stewart-S's. They come down into the right-hander here at St John's. Left-hander underneath us is Sunny Bend. They come out of Sunny now, run the curb on the right-hand side, down to Paddock Bend. 1 minute 14 on the clock as they go through Paddock Bend this time. Paul looks for the inside line, going through the start line. Has he got it into the chicane? No, he hasn't. Scarisbrick holds on. Scarisbrick, Paul and McDuff, 0.367 separate them. Down to one of the best overtaking opportunities on the circuit. Paul helps himself as Scarisbrick opens wide. Paul back into the lead, and judging by the way he was defending earlier, you can expect him to defend now with less than a minute on the clock all the way to the line. They head down Lakeside Straight. You can see why it's called Lakeside. What a beautiful circuit this is here at Rowrah. I've just noticed on the timing, Jacob Giblett-Lee's dropped to the back of the field. I think that was him just going through the picture there. He's down to 13th place, so he's had some sort of problem on the last lap, out of shot of the cameras. But here are the leaders, right-handed into St John's, left-handed now, Sunny Bend. It's going to be 2 laps to go, I think, as they go across the line. I don't think we're going to get there before the clock counts to 0. Let's have a look. 13, 12, no, there's going to be 2 laps to go as they go across the line. Starter doesn't put the last lap board out. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the clock counts to 0. We're on the penultimate lap now. It is Ollie Poole that leads it from Scarisbrick, McDuff, Sherwood, Champney. It's a 5-way battle for the win, but we know Poole's going to keep it defensive all the way through this lap and the last. Can they force a way past? Scarisbrick showed the way last time, but in doing so, he may have showed his hand too early to Ollie Poole. Poole now will be aware where Scarisbrick made the move last time to take the lead, and he'll block that off this time. Over the little left-hand rise, King towards the right-hander here at St John's. Left-hander Sunny Bend gives him an opportunity, but Scarisbrick doesn't take it. Here's a narrow line again through Paddock. Now this is where Scarisbrick got him last time over the start-finish line. He's close enough, but Paul takes it. Defensive, Scarisbrick up the inside, but Paul doesn't give him the room. We're into the last lap. 5 karts through the chicane. Jaden Sherwood sets the fastest lap, 57.750, but he's not got track position. Up the inside for second is McDuff, and Sherwood and Champney have had a coming together for 4th and 5th. That's the best they're going to do now. McDuff holds on to second. Scarisbrick has to go round the outside, and that battling has allowed Paul to get away, and Paul's going to take this one now. It's all about who finishes second, and that looks like it's going to be Caleb McDuff. Champney is in 4th place. He's ahead of Sherwood. That's Jacob Giblett-Lee. He had that incident a few laps ago out of sight of the cameras. 3 turns from home as Paul goes through the right-hander. Looks like Champney got the better of that incident with Sherwood. Yeah, there is Champney, in fact, underneath the drone. Champney through to 4th, but it is Ollie Poole that's going to take the win. He's been the man to beat all weekend and comes across the line in celebration. McDuff through to 2nd, Scarisbrick from Champney in 4th, Pippin Jaden Sherwood on the last lap. O'Neill goes through the line in 6th place. There's Holly Mile going through for 7th. George Davison should be next. There he is from Ashton Butland, and Joshua Jarvis battling for the 9th spot. Butlin just taking it ahead of Josh Jarvis. That's the official result then. Ollie Poole, fastest in time qualifying, winner in Heat 1, winner in the pre-final, and now winner in the final. The definition of dominance. Ollie, great weekend for you. Just talk me through that final.
I didn't get that good of a start. I went down into second, and then I battled through to first. But we kept switching from first to second.
Came out on top in the end. Who do you want to thank for your victory this weekend? Who's important to you?
My dad.
Ollie Poole is the championship leader. 2:05 leads 1:88. Connor Scarisbrick is second from Theo Champney, Jaden Sherwood and Holly Mile rounding out the top 5. Coming next, it's the iArmy Cadet race, the biggest grid of the weekend. Don't miss it. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to get a message each time we upload new content. Smash that like button. I'll tell you to comment, but unfortunately, the comments have been turned off by YouTube. Still waiting for them to be turned back on.